Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we were discussing Biot-Savart's law, and we studied the application of Biot-Savart's law in two cases for the current carrying loop at the center as well as on the axis. And I told that one more application is there, that is for straight current carrying conductor, but it's not in the syllabus now. So now I am moving to a new topic, that is Ampere's circuital law, which is very, very important. Okay, so Ampere's circuital law. First of all, I will state the law. Afterwards, we will explain. So this law states that the line integral of magnetic field B around any closed path in vacuum is mu naught times the net current enclosed by the surface. Okay, so the line integral of magnetic field B around any closed path in vacuum is mu naught times the net current enclosed by the surface. Line integral, you have studied integration, okay, of magnetic field around any closed path in vacuum is mu naught times the net current enclosed by the surface. So mathematically, this is expressed as integral B dot dl is equal to mu naught times the total current enclosed by the surface. This is for a closed surface, so you can put this also. Our line element we are taking, okay, so we are taking dl. Now by looking this expression, you may have a familiar expression in your mind. What is that? As Gauss's theorem. In electrostatics, we have studied Gauss's law or Gauss's theorem, in which we have expressed for electric field. What is that expression? Integral E dot ds is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the total charge enclosed. Isn't it? That's over a surface we are saying. That is integral E dot ds over a surface is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So this is Gauss's law, and this Ampere's circuital law is applicable only for a Amperian loop. In the case of Gauss's law, you have considered a Gaussian surface. Similarly, here we will consider an Amperian loop. Okay, then we will apply the law there. So you can find the magnetic field around any closed path by taking its line integral, and it must be equal to mu 0 times the total current enclosed in that particular curve. Understood? And with the help of Ampere's circuital law, you can find the magnetic field of a straight wire, then magnetic field for a solenoid. Solenoid you have studied in 10th standard, and also magnetic field for a toroid. Toroid may be new for you, that I will explain. Okay, so each one we have to study in detail. So first of all, we will move to to find the magnitude of magnetic field of a straight wire using Ampere's law. So this is the case where you have to find an expression for the magnetic field for a straight wire by using Ampere's law. So first of all, we will draw a straight wire. Okay, so this is our straight wire. Now you know, for a straight conductor, what is the shape of the magnetic field lines, or how the direction of magnetic field? as it will be concentric circles. That is, for a straight wire, if you are considering a straight wire like this, the magnetic field around it will be concentric circles, isn't it? So similarly here also you will be getting concentric circles. Okay, this is our magnetic field line. Understood? Now to find the direction of magnetic field at a point, you have to draw a tangent, isn't it? So if this point, if I want to take, I will draw a tangent like this, so that will be the magnetic field. And in this part, if I am considering a small element dl, by applying Ampere's law, including that element dl, I have to consider an Amperian loop. Okay, so this is actually the Amperian loop that I have drawn. Magnetic field line is a imaginary line, and in the case of a straight conductor, you know there are large number of concentric circles around the straight conductor. So if I am considering this particular point dl around a straight conductor, near to a straight conductor, I want to find the magnetic field or the magnitude of magnetic field at this point. Including this dl, I can draw an Amperian loop like this. Okay, now to find the direction, you have studied in the properties of magnetic field lines that the magnetic field, the direction of magnetic field can be found out by drawing a tangent at that point, isn't it? So this is the direction of D, and this is our element dl. This much is clear. Now you can mark the center here and let this be the radius of the loop. Okay, so magnetic field due to a straight conductor, you can name it as P. Okay, at a point P at a distance r is in the form of a circle of radius r, and which can be taken as a closed path or the Amperian loop. Okay. Now, as per our expression, what is our expression? As it is integral B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I, isn't it? That is B dl cos theta, integral B dl cos theta. B dot dl, A dot B is AB cos theta, which is equal to mu 0 times current. Now, what is this theta? Theta is the angle between B and dl, isn't it? Magnetic field and the line element. So, what is the angle here? Here both B and dl are in the same direction, so that theta is equal to 0. So cos 0 is 1, and you will get integral B dl over a closed path is equal to mu 0 times I. Clear for you? How you got theta 0? Because B and dl is parallel, so that the angle is 0. Now you can take B outside because the varying quantity is dl, and B integrate. You have to integrate the line element dl. Okay, dl is equal to mu 0 I. Now you know this actually by taking the integral means the whole part. So what is the total length or what is the circumference for a circle? It is 2 pi r, isn't it? So you can write B into 2 pi r is equal to mu 0 I. Clear for you? So B is equal to, what is B? B is equal to mu 0 I divided by 2 pi r. Mu 0 I divided by 2 pi r. Clear? So from this result you can derive some important points. What are they? First of all is the magnetic field at every point on a circle, the magnetic field at every point on a circle of this much radius. That means here the radius, here the radius. Everywhere, at every point, the magnetic field will be same in magnitude, isn't it? By looking the expression it is given. Then the magnetic field around a straight wire will possess cylindrical symmetry. That also you have studied. Then the field direction at any point on this circle can be drawn with the help of tangents, drawing tangents. Okay, the lines of constant magnitudes of magnetic field forms the concentric circles that we can call it as the magnetic field lines. Okay, so these are the basic and common points that you already know, but still from this expression you can confirm it once again. Understood? So this is the expression for magnetic field of a straight wire using Ampere's law. So keep it in mind for numericals. It will be asked where mu 0 is the permeability of free space, I is the current, and R is the radius of the Amperian loop. Clear? So now we will move to the next topic, that is the solenoid. So a solenoid. Solenoid you have seen or you have studied in 10th standard. What is a solenoid? As it is an insulated long wire closely wound in the form of a helix. Isn't it? A solenoid is an insulated long wire wound in the form of a helix. Clear? So what is the use of a solenoid, or what is the relation with of a solenoid with magnetism? As a solenoid, when it is connected to a battery, it will act like a magnet. It will behave like a magnet. So inside a solenoid, if you are placing a soft iron or a material which can be easily magnetized, any material like that, usually we use soft iron because soft iron has a property by which it get magnetized easily, as well as it get demagnetized also. So for making electromagnet means it is a temporary magnet that you will study later. So for using or so for making this temporary magnets, we will use this solenoid by placing soft iron inside. Understood? So if you are placing soft iron inside a solenoid and switching on the battery, it will get become a very good magnet. Okay, strong magnet. It will show the properties of a strong magnet. So solenoid means it is an insulated long wire closely wound in the form of a helix. You all have seen solenoid. Okay, so it will be like this. It is like this. Clear? Now, if I am making this particular solenoid in the form of a circular ring like this. Okay, the same solenoid, if it is wound in the form of a circular ring, such a method or such a form is known as the toroid. So what is the difference between solenoid and toroid? Toroid means it is a hollow circular ring on which, the same way as we have a solenoid, on which a large number of insulated turns of a metallic wire are closely wound. Clear? So this is the difference between a solenoid and a toroid. Solenoid means it is an insulated long wire like this. You can see an insulated long wire wound in the form of a helix. There will be large number of turns, and if I am making it into the form of a circular ring in which there are large number of turns of metallic wire, insulated metallic wire, then it can be termed as what? A toroid. Understood? Now here, the solenoid and toroid are the two equipments which are used to produce magnetic fields. Keep it in mind, okay? Solenoid and toroid are the two equipments which are used to produce magnetic fields. So in television and all, we make use of this solenoid to generate the magnetic field needed for the deflection of electrons in picture tube. Okay, and toroid is also used in devices like synchrotron. Synchrotron means it is used in, it is a device which needs high magnetic field. Okay, synchroton. So this device uses toroid because this device need high magnetic field to work. So here also we are using toroid, or you can use a combination of solenoid and toroid. Anyway you can use. So these are the two equipments which are used to generate huge magnetic fields. Now here, inside a solenoid, I said that a magnetic field is produced, or we can make it into a strong magnet. So what is the value of magnetic field produced, or what is the magnitude of the magnetic field produced inside a solenoid? That is what we are discussing now. Okay. So if you are asked to draw a solenoid, how will you draw? Yes, it is a closely wound wire, okay, which is in the form of a helix, and then this is connected to a battery so that it will behave like a bar magnet. So for bar magnet you have studied the magnetic field lines. If there are two poles north and south, the field lines will start from north and ends at south, isn't it? Similarly here also large number of field lines start from north and ends at south. Arrow is very important. And inside this bar magnet, the field lines are parallel to each other, and it is from south to north, which indicates that here the field is uniform, isn't it? So here the field lines are very close because the field is very strong, or the strength of the poles indicate the strength of the pole strength actually. So this is the magnetic field line around a bar magnet. The same way this solenoid will behave like a bar magnet. So if you are asked to draw a magnetic field line around this solenoid, as you draw in a bar magnet, you have to draw there, okay, in this way, because you know in solenoid or in bar magnet these are closed and continuous curves, okay. Now if it is north and if it is south, will be like this. Inside the solenoid, again the field is uniform, which is indicated by parallel straight lines, okay, parallel lines. Clear? So this is the case for a solenoid. Now what about the direction? What about the direction of a solenoid? That is, for a solenoid, whatever the direction of magnetic field, you know these are the magnetic field lines, that is from north to south, isn't it? North to south. So if you are holding like this, this will indicate your direction, that is from north to south, and then you can turn like this, okay. So here it is coming out, and in this point it is going in. In such a way you can identify the direction of magnetic field. Understood? Now here, to find the magnetic field or the value of magnetic field that a solenoid possesses, you have to consider a solenoid having, which is closely packed, okay, having closely packed coils in which I is the current flowing. So we can redraw this like this, okay, it is very much closely packed like this. Clear? So I current is actually entering into the solenoid, okay. I is the amount of current. Now here, when you apply the Ampere's circuital law to determine the magnetic field inside the solenoid, we have to choose, I already told that we have to choose a loop, which we call it as Amperian loop, okay. So we have to choose a very suitable Amperian loop, and in this case we are choosing a rectangular closed path, okay, rectangular closed path, because actually this is in the form like this, this is here, no, solenoid. So again, if I am changing the diagram this way, okay, this is same as that, okay. To understand, I am redrawing this, okay. So inside we want to find, so I am considering a rectangular loop like this, which includes the inside part as well as outside part, okay. Let us name this as P, Q, R and S. As you know, from here the magnetic field lines are emerging, which means that around this solenoid also the magnetic force is experienced, the influence is felt. Clear? So that we are drawing a loop like this, which includes both the points inside as well as outside. Now here, let us consider the length PQ as L. PQ is equal to L. Okay. And here you have to find the line integral of this magnetic field B over this whole rectangular loop. That is for the surface PQRS, you have to find the line integral B dot dl. After finding the total B dot dl for the whole surface, that is PQRS, you can split it into 4 like PQ, then QR, RS, VS, like that you can split and you can find, then you can add the 4 terms so that you will get the total value of integral B dot dl over the surface PQRS. Okay, so shall we start? Yes, listen carefully. First of all, integral, that is for PQRS closed one, B dot dl, okay, which is equal to integral, first we will write P to Q, this portion, P to Q B dot dl, plus next one is Q to R B dot dl, okay, again R to S B dot dl, plus integral S to P B dot dl. Okay, now listen carefully. What about these two sides? For QR and PS, what about the value for magnetic field? Because you know B dot dl is what? B dl cos theta. So if theta is equal to 0, that value will exist because cos 0 is 1 and it is B dl. Okay. Now in this case, that means in QR and PS, you know, here the direction of magnetic field is like this, isn't it? In this way. Here also in this way it is moving from north to south. Clear for you? So what about these two sides, QR and PS? As it is perpendicular, which means B dl cos 90. Okay. So for this term QR and PS, the angle between B and DL is actually 90 degree, and so that terms will be cancelled out. So the remaining terms are integral P to Q B dot dl plus integral R to S B dot dl. Okay. Now listen. Inside the solenoid there is magnetic field, isn't it? But outside the magnetic field is 0. The magnetic field is 0 outside the solenoid. Understood? Magnetic field is 0 outside the solenoid. Even though it will behave like a bar magnet, that is a strong magnet, we will draw the magnetic field lines like this, but it doesn't mean that here it is having magnetic field. Understood? Inside it has strong magnetic field, but outside, because it is insulated, right, outside it is having 0 magnetic field. So again this term RS will be 0. Okay. So the balance is P to Q B dl. P to Q B dl. Again B into integral P to Q dl. What is dl here? Total length L. So B into L. This is the magnetic field we got. Now from Ampere's circuital law, we have integral B dot dl equal to mu 0 times the current enclosed by PQRS, isn't it? So again we have to do the further steps. So before moving to that, let us consider the number of turns per unit length as small n. Okay. So in that particular length L, what is the total number of turn? Total number of turns in that length L will be n times L. You know that. Okay. Also, you know, if you are increasing the number of turns, more amount of current will pass through it. So that's a very good question. How to increase the magnetic field? That is, by increasing the number of turns, more amount of current will be produced, and if more amount current is produced, more the magnetic field strength will be more. Understood? So that's a very good question. Again, number of turns per unit length is n, and number of turns for the length, total length L will be n into L. Okay. Now the current, you know, in each turn we have the current, isn't it? I is the current. So what is the total net current enclosed? Net current enclosed by the loop. How can you take? As it will be n into L into I. Okay, n into L into I. Clear? Now you can write the Ampere's law, that is integral B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times current. Here we have for PQRS, loop is PQRS, B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times I. We got the expression B into L, which is mu 0 into N L I. Clear for you? So what is B? B is equal to mu 0 N I. So this is the expression for the magnetic field for a solenoid. Okay, very important. B equal to mu 0 N I. From the expression, it is clear that B is independent of the length, then the diameter of the solenoid, and it is uniform over the cross section of the solenoid. Clear? So also you can note one point here, one note you can keep it in mind, that is at points near the end of a closed solenoid, B is equal to half into mu 0 N. Okay, for numericals you can use B equal to half into mu 0 Ni. Clear? Also one more thing, this formula, that is B equal to mu 0 Ni, is valid when the length of the solenoid is, that is the length of the solenoid is much larger. Length should be larger than its radius. Okay, length should be larger than its radius, then only this is valid. Okay, so that's all about solenoid. Now we will move to toroid. Again, toroid means it is a hollow circular ring on which a large number of insulated turns of a metallic wire are closely wound. The same thing you can apply there also by considering an Amperian loop. Okay, so we'll move to that. So a toroid can be also called as an endless solenoid in the form of a ring. Okay, and here the magnetic field lines inside the toroid are circular, concentric with the center of the toroid. So this is a toroid which carries a current I. Okay, I amount of current passes through the toroid. These are the number of turns, large number of turns which are wound in the form of a circular ring. Okay, that means a solenoid, when you bend a solenoid in the form of a ring, you will get a toroid. Okay, now here for finding the magnetic field inside a toroid, actually you have to consider 3 Amperian loops here. So we can draw a cross-sectional view of the toroid, then it will be easy for you. That means these two parts I will draw like this. Okay, this is the second part. So this is the core of the solenoid. Okay, this one outside and this is the empty space here. Understood? Empty space surrounded by the toroid, then outside the toroid and inside the core of the toroid. So in 3 regions you have to consider an Amperian loop. First one outside the toroid. Then in this core you can consider an Amperian loop. Also in this empty space you can consider an Amperian loop. Okay, so this is one, this is second one, and this is third one. So let the radius be R1, then this is R2, and finally this is R3. Understood? So here outside the toroid, you know there is no magnetic field, so it will be 0. Similarly, in this empty space also the magnetic field is found as 0. Okay, so only the magnetic field exists in this core. Okay, inside the core of the toroid. So you can write the line integral as integral B dot dl. And what about the angle between B and dl? Yes, it is 0, isn't it? That means the element, the circular B is of concentric circles, and dl, when you consider a particular point, there both are parallel. So B dl means B dl cos 0. B dl cos 0, which is B into integral dl or B into L. Since it is in the form of a circle, you can write B into 2 pi r. Okay for you? B into 2 pi r. Also, integral B dot dl from Ampere's law, it is mu 0 I. Therefore, B into 2 pi r, okay, which is equal to mu 0 into the current enclosed by the closed part. Here you know this is considered as the Amperian loop, isn't it? So what about the current enclosed by this closed path? That is the total circumference, then the number of turns, everything you have to consider. So you can write n into this total circumference, which is 2 pi r. Am I right? That is the current. That is I n 2 pi r. Okay, so 2 pi r will get cancelled, and finally the answer is mu 0 ni. Now it is clear that for both toroid as well as solenoid, the expression is same. Same amount of magnetic field is produced in toroid as well as solenoid. Okay children, so hope the both topics are clear for you. Again, it is very important. So Ampere's circuital law and its application, starting with straight wire, solenoid and toroid. Okay, so thank you. Prepare notes by yourself and have a nice day.